Hi, everybody, and welcome to episode 5 of Todd Talk, a weekly presentation from Oklahoma Baptist University Athletics as we spotlight the various coaches and athletic programs across campus during this pandemic. And today we talk women's golf with head coach Mike Manlapig. Coach, first of all, thanks for taking time out to join us. Looks like you're in the office. Have you spent a lot of time in the office during this period of time?
Well, this week I've been in the office the first part of the morning time. In the afternoon, I've been doing stuff at the house, but this is really the only time I've been in the office since everything has come up.
All right, tell us what you've been doing. I'm sure you've been doing a little bit of recruiting work, trying to get the new crop of bison to Bison Hill, but it's certainly been different than anything you've experienced in your career.
Oh, yeah, it's been different. I probably speak for a few coaches. We've never had so much time comparative to our normal schedule because obviously we were getting ready to get full-blown in our season. And we're working hard to qualify for regionals. We've qualified for the first times that we've been able to qualify, and so we were going that direction, but it's been very difficult since then. And I still recruit, talk to people, did some Zoom calls with some recruits, but there's tournaments going on right now that I'd love to go watch and can't go watch any of those. So it's been difficult and frustrating.
I know, Mike, where you find yourself is certainly not in the position that any other school is not in as well, but how have you had to adjust the way you go about recruiting? Because as you mentioned, there's tournaments going on. You'd like to actively get out and physically see these young ladies in action, but you're not able to do so.
No, because this is the busiest time for me for recruiting, is going to tournament after tournament during the week. So obviously I'm getting some videos of players. They are sending some more videos than normal of updates. Like I've got a handful that we're working on for 21. Can't talk to any 22s yet till June 15th. So, but the number of 21s that we're trying to get at least committed, so then I can move on to those 22s. But they're sending more videos and updates of things that they've been able to do at practice. I had one send me, it was an 8-minute clip, but it was her playing 18 holes at her course. So we're getting some of those.
Well, I've got an idea. If you want to kill a little time, I'll send you 18 holes of me hacking away. How's that?
Oh, man. I do the same thing because, people say, man, you must play a lot of golf because you coach. I said, no, I play less golf in these 10 years since I've been golf coach prior to being golf coach, because obviously I practice watching and helping, and then out recruiting during the summer. So there's, summer I'll get out maybe once a week or something with my son. But otherwise, I haven't played that much.
Have you almost found yourself bored during these times because you're so active at Oklahoma Baptist, and it's not just the fall and spring golf campaigns, but you're also in the athletic department and you wear a lot of different hats there. I mean, have you found yourself almost like looking around going, what am I going to do with all this downtime?
Well, yeah, because it was I'm used to working. There's a number of stretches, especially when golf in the fall and the spring, that I'll work 30, 40 days straight, and that's doing stuff. That doesn't include the recruiting part. And with basketball or football or volleyball or some of those other things that I'd be doing, and with the student workers, and that was, anywhere from 60, 70 hours a week. Now you're back down to, trying to find some time to do what I've point my energy a little bit towards. I've done a lot more exercise. I usually walk about 3 miles in the morning and then a couple in the evening, but that gives me a good time during those times to think of what I could be doing or what to start to shoot goals for the upcoming season for the team, and for who I need to be recruiting or what fits for our team. So it's given me some time to think that just by myself without any distractions.
OBU women's golf coach Mike Manlapig is our guest here on episode 5 of Todd Talk, a weekly presentation from Oklahoma Baptist University Athletics. Mike, before we came on, I was looking at your background, and I didn't know you were a jack of all trades. At one point, in a private academy, you were an AD, you were the girls' basketball coach, coached softball at OBU, you were a volleyball coach. At the academy level, also did a little football work. I mean,
I've done a
is there
little bit of
anything you
everything.
can't coach?
Well, there's probably a bunch I can't coach, but at that high level, the one I love is the golf. But I enjoy all sports. I grew up that way, watching and playing. Played baseball mainly when I grew up. Did a little bit of basketball, but baseball was my main sport growing up. And I just love all sports, and I don't dread a day going to work. So that's made it easy for me. I enjoy what I do and really love it. So time flies when you do something you really enjoy.
Coach, how special was it for you to come back and give back to your university? I mean, you graduated from Oklahoma Baptist in 1994, and not long after that, you began an affiliation with both the men's and women's golf programs and have been affiliated with women's golf there for the last decade.
Well, it's been fabulous. I mean, I love the university that I went to and graduated, and I love to serve to this university, and I love young people. I love spending time with young people. It really it's a lot of enjoyment. And this team that I have, women's golf, they're a fabulous group of young ladies. Got great leaders, and one other thing that we've added in the last number of years is we've had a chaplain, Jordan Woodward, and that even during this time, she's done some Zoom discipleship or Bible studies. We usually did that on a bi-weekly. So this team's really a tight-knit group. I know the hardest thing that we encountered, or what the hardest thing for me that I've ever had to do with the coach, is talk to those seniors. And that was a devastating part, obviously for them, but also for me. And I really hurt hard for those young ladies when it got cut short. So, but man, I just love serving and being at this university and seeing the things that it's capable of doing, and seeing what university and the department and this golf team is going to be able to do serving the Lord going forward.
Where would you say this program is right now, Mike, as to where you'd hope to be when you found out, hey, you're going to have to transition from NAI to NCAA Division II? You mentioned that in back-to-back years you've qualified for the NCAA Central Regional Tournament, which, by the way, is very difficult to do. This is a very good golf region. So how important has that been for the program as well during this period?
The transition for me, or for this, has been very beneficial from NAI to NCAA. We're playing at a lot higher level, been able to get in on student athletes that I wasn't able to get in on before being NCAA Division II. And right where we're at, what we need to do is kind of move up to the upper half of this region so we can have a chance when we're at a regional to qualify to get to the national spot. Right now, you'd have to earn a spot. You'd have to be the top 4 at the regionals. So I think next year we could be pushing into that middle group with the recruits coming in. Plus, two of those seniors are going to come back for another year, and they were my top 5. So we're going to be a pretty deep squad next year. So I see a lot of exciting things, but that's where I'd want to get to, is move a little higher up in the region.
Who are the 2 seniors coming back? And the group of 4 that you had to bid adieu to when the season was cut short have been with you during this transition period. So they're very, very special to you.
Oh, yeah, they've been very special. All 4 of those young ladies. The 2 seniors that are coming back is Ellie Bays and Michelle Carr. And they've been a big part of this team for 4 years with those other 2 seniors, Grace and Olivia. So it's been a fabulous group of young ladies, but they've been great leaders for this team, and especially during this time.
You know, you talk about the group of 4, the seniors that were so valuable, and of those 4, Michelle Carr obviously comes to the front among Bison fans to the career she's had. But you had a couple of sophomores this year, Mike, that really, really stepped up for you in the fall, and then we're really starting to come into their own after the first spring tournament of the year.
Yes, the 2 sophomores, Hayden Miser and Josie Patterson. They're great players this past fall, and they've been great young ladies when they came into the program. Personalities, character. That freshman class is a great bunch of young ladies, but those players are really getting better and pushing themselves harder and harder, putting lot of hard work in to achieve their goals. I think Hayden, if we wouldn't have qualified, I think Hayden might have been able to qualify as an individual this year. She was playing really well this year for us. So, and that's good. You know, they've got a number of years, like still got a couple of years left. So I'm looking forward to what they're going to do and where they're going to get.
Mike, Hayden and Josie were two of five players last year that earned WGCA academic honors. That's as important as much as anything to you, isn't it? Because OBU is about the total student athlete experience.
Oh yeah, I mean, when recruits and parents come in, you know, I talk to them. I want to win just as much as anybody else, but my goal is I want your daughter to be able to get that diploma in 4 years as she comes to OBU, and we've had a solid group. You know, we've won the AD's GPA, not this year, but the year before, or we've been runner up probably for the last 4 years, and we still do 6 hours of study hall a week, no matter what their GPA is, because as golf is, you know, we've got 10 players on our team, but only 5 in theory go to tournaments. So we've kind of separated the group a little bit, but we focus on the academics in those areas. And this past spring, 3.83 GPA. So it was fabulous, like a bunch of young ladies, and they really put hard work in their schoolwork, because even when we're on road trips, they are in their rooms doing a lot of study and turning their stuff in and always communicating with their professors.
You touched on what you say to a recruit's parent. Does it go something like this, that yes, I want your daughter to excel as a golfer, I want her to win, I want her to enjoy team and individual success, but I'm failing your daughter if she does not graduate from OBU with a degree and does not grow spiritually during her time with me in my program?
Well, yes, and a lot of theories, you know, I feel like I failed them in that situation if they're not able to accomplish some of those things that we set out for them. Now, each individual makes their own decisions, but for the most part, we probably had over 95% of ours stay with this team throughout their years, 4 years or 2 years. I mean, mainly we have 4-year players. We do have one transfer coming in, but we haven't had too many transfers. And not only that, they work their tail off, because a number of them, I've had a pre-med, nursing, but yeah, if they can't accomplish that, or I can't help them accomplish and succeed to get to those things, I feel like I've failed as a coach and as somebody that's trying to mentor them to
Women's golf is our topic today on episode 5 of Todd Talk. Incidentally, if you'd like to view any of our previous 4 episodes, you can do so by going to the YouTube page, Oklahoma Baptist Athletics. Mike Manlapig, the head golf coach, is our guest. Mike, I want to talk about 2 events. One was in the fall. You went to the Central Missouri Invitational. That's a really good field. There was 21 teams involved in that. You finished in the top half. In fact, finished 8th out of 21 teams. That really, I think, set you up for what you thought was going to be a really good spring season, didn't it?
Yes, because golf, I don't know if everybody understands, golf is year-round. Our fall is just as important for the spring, because all those head-to-head in the region are crucial to where you get to or be able to qualify for a regional in the spring. And all those head-to-head matter in the fall and usually set you up where you are in the spring. Sometimes it's harder to move that needle in the spring. So if you did have a bad fall, you might have to adjust your schedule a little bit to go find those teams that you need to beat on those head-to-head. But a great big tournament like that really helps us out in what you did, because we beat some good teams even in that regional, or that preview that was going to be a regional. So yeah, that was a fabulous tournament, and there was 2 big ones, that one and then the first one in around Labor Day in the fall.
Mike, you had your final events here in Edmond at Kicking Bird right before the season was shuttered because of the coronavirus. You finished 7th in that invitational hosted by Southern Nazarene. Did that give you a good feeling about what was to come later in the season?
Yes, because we moved in, or they came in the middle of January, and we've been obviously practice and qualifying for a good long time before that tournament. And they really worked hard during that time. And there was a lot of good positives that came out of that tournament. We were getting ready to go to South Carolina to play in a tournament over spring break. And just right, we would have been peaking right as we went into that April when we had 3 big tournaments that would have pushed us over the edge on that. And what I was seeing from each one of them was their hard work was really paying off in what they put out.
We mentioned earlier in the talk that you had qualified each of your first 2 years of eligibility for the NCAA Central Region. Having said that, let's look into a crystal ball. Could this team have been your best that you've had in the Division II era?
Yes. The last year's would have been the best that we would have had. I mean, we were a little deep. The teams were a little deeper this year and a little stronger than they were a year before in the region, but so were we, and this was the best team that we had going this year, and obviously in the spring that propelled us into that regional. This is the best team we've had going forward.
Last year, Mike, you finished 6th in the Great American Conference out of 9 teams. This year, you were preseason picked 5th. And that's pretty good because this is a very good league despite 9 teams. Do you feel like you could have achieved 5th or maybe even stuck into the top 4 this year?
I think we could have got in that top 4 group. I really do. So, yeah, we would have been pushing hard to get into that number 4 spot.
All right. What lies ahead as far as this summer's concerned and right now still uncertainty about what's going to happen when school resumes in the fall?
Yeah, well, hopefully some of those players are working hard on their own. Obviously, I can't make them do anything and can't check on them, but we'll send some stuff out on things that they need to be working on. Hopefully they'll be working on it, but hopefully I'm hoping in July we can get out to be recruiting. I don't know if we will or not, but otherwise I'll be focusing pretty hard on how to prepare and what we need to be doing at the beginning of fall as everybody moves back and get ready for that first tournament, because that first tournament's huge. It's a big, crucial tournament. It's a regional preview. There'll be about 18 schools within the region playing there, and we need to do well in that first tournament. So we'll be preparing what we need to have them do to get to that level.
I get the sense in talking to you today that Bison fans should be very hopeful about this women's golf program going forward because you feel like, as the head coach, you're only starting to scratch the surface of the abilities of this program as a new member of NCAA Division II.
Yes. I mean, this team, if we can have everybody here this year, this team, I'm really anticipating great things to happen and this team to be the best team we've ever had going forward for this fall and spring. Obviously, we've got to go and play these matches and see how we do, but I feel extremely excited for these young ladies and what they can accomplish in this upcoming year.
Has this slowdown or shutdown period been good for you and the family? I mean, I know that family is very important to you, Mike, but you're so busy. I mean, year round, you've actually had more time to just be a dad and a husband, haven't you, and stay home?
Well, this has been an exciting time. I mean, yes, and obviously my son was a little discouraged and my daughter because they still want to go to school. They really work hard at that. And so it's been good for that part. And hopefully we don't lose track of that once we get back going full board, though both my kids will be moved away. Cameron's going to start Colorado Christian in the fall and Mitchell, obviously, Wisconsin and Milwaukee at grad school. But it's been good. And it's gave me time to do some things. One thing that I've been really focusing and working on a lot and watching a lot of videos is I'm enjoying cooking. Doing a lot of that and seeing what I can make. And we've had a lot of successes. We have some failures here too, but I've enjoyed that. It's becoming more of a passion there.
So cooking's like coaching. A lot of successes, but a few stumbles along the way.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, there is, man. If you can get the right spices together and get them to work and have good taste and flavor. But if you get the wrong group, chemistry, same thing, and that takes off.
What's your specialties?
I've been dabbing a little bit of everything, but I've done some smoked some ribs the other day that turned out pretty good. And then I've been working on some egg stuff, and I've getting pretty good to poaching eggs lately. So getting the right texture and everything. So
How about you and I start a new series, Mealtime with Mike? How about that?
that sounds fantastic.
We'll do it for your backyard. You can grill in the patio, and we'll show people how it's really done.
Well, that sounds great. I mean,
Mike, good to see you. Glad you're doing well, and we'll look forward to seeing you on campus in the fall.
okay, Todd, I appreciate all you do for this university. I appreciate everything that you do. Thank you very much.
You bet, Mike. Thank you. Mike Manlapig, the head golf coach for OBU's women's golf program, our guest here on episode 5 of Todd Talk. We'll be taking a couple of weeks off and return for more interviews coming up in July. Once more for Mike Manlapig, I'm Todd Miller. We'll catch you next time for another edition of Todd Talk.